The presidential campaign for 2020 is well underway, and there are 17 Democrats hoping to win their party's nomination. And those candidates are spending a lot of their time in Iowa, which is the first state to hold the first vote in February. And during the last cycle, it was Dr. Beatty that went to Iowa to look at all those candidates, and you're back at it again, doing that again. The first candidate you saw was Beto O'Rourke, a former Texas congressman. Let's get right into it. Tell us, who is Beto O'Rourke?
Well, nobody knew really who he was, except he ran for the U.S. Senate in the state of Texas. And as a Democrat in a very red state, he generated a lot of enthusiasm. He didn't win the race. He ran against Ted Cruz. But a lot of young people joined his campaign. He got a lot of national attention, and he's parlaying that into a run for president.
All right, so what are his key policies? What are the things he's running on?
Well, you know, first of all, it's interesting. He's doing something very different. He's driving himself around Iowa. So that was sort of fun. You'd see the actual candidate driving, of all things, a minivan, Jace. A lot of people say don't do that because if you hit somebody, your campaign's over. So he's trying to set himself out as to be a little different. But his key policies really are, he argues that being from a red state, he can bring people together. And there's something to that. He's, you know, from Texas. But he also is stressing some, you know, some sort of classic Democratic themes. He wants health care for all, not Medicare for all, but Medicare as a choice. He also wants comprehensive immigration reform, and he really stressed climate change. And what was interesting about Beto O'Rourke is he said this could be a real opportunity for farmers because they could be involved in shifting their crops and also be involved in addressing climate change.
A very crowded field, as we mentioned at the top of this. Lots of candidates. How does someone like Beto O'Rourke, a former congressman, how does he separate himself in such a crowded field?
Yeah, the Democrats this time really remind me of the Republicans 4 years ago. And keep in mind that the three top Republicans of 4 years ago only got a little over 20%. So what Beto O'Rourke is looking for is, of course, that youth vote that he got a lot of in the Texas race. He also has to set himself apart, probably trying to get people in their 30s and 40s. He's 46, but he looks a lot younger, and he acts quite a bit younger. Vanity Fair says he could be the first punk president because of his background in punk rock bands. So setting himself apart is a key for him.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. There's still a lot of campaign left to go. I'm sure there are people at home just saying,
I hope they're excited.
Hopefully they are too. Well, thanks. And Bob will be back next week to talk about Bernie Sanders, who he also had an opportunity to see about his new campaign for the presidency.